is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artists, and we break down one of their records. We get into the music, lyrics, how it was made, and everything in between. My name is Tyler, and with there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, share all the posts with all your friends. And we are in easy, hard season of the podcast. We're halfway through, and what this season is we take a band that we like, we really like, we listen to all of their records, and then we choose a record that is probably not, people don't really like it, we don't really like it, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to break it down. So it's easy, hard season on the podcast. What are we doing this week, Jeff? Go.
We're doing Crash Love by AFI.
By the AFIs. So this... God,
I thought a gleek there when the lime was big.
That was so
lime.
obnoxious. So this record, once again, that's obnoxious, dude. So this is their 8th record. It came out in September of 2009. Features the classic lineup of the band of Davey Havoc on vocals, Jade on guitar, Hunter on bass, and Adam on drums. This is later stage, later era AFI. So some people don't really like this record. Some people love it. I don't know. We'll see where everyone stands. We'll see where you stand. I'm curious what you think. So let's get into this. What's our origin story with AFI? Let's start with that. Origin story with AFI, and then we'll get into the first impressions of Crash Love from AFI. Go.
This is definitely like the late stage capitalism of AFI, right?
Once again, that is
that's on the no, dude. Do people still say that? I still don't hear people say that.
I haven't seen it in a long time. Like late stage capitalism was like a hot thing for about a year, but I haven't heard it in a while.
Okay. Well, chug one, drink one. All right. So okay. I don't have. It's like origin stories with AFI. It's kind of funny because one of the early memories I have with AFI is it's kind of twofold. One is very proud of you, and actually Hello Rockview by Less Than Jake are the two things I downloaded first, super illegally from Kazaa. And I don't know, like Less Than Jake I liked, and then just wherever I was, people were also downloading AFI, so I downloaded Very Proud of You at some point. So that's like my origin story. and that was like a long fucking time ago. That had to have been like,
if it was Kazaa,
8th grade, 9th grade. No, it was before high school because my mom had the computer at her house. So this is probably like 99,
2000. Yeah.
Probably
around there. Because that was like Napster, Kazaa, Kazaa at that point. Yeah.
But like, if anybody really knows me, like I've never been good with electronics, especially like computers, social media. I'm just not fucking good with it. And it's,
but you don't care to learn. That's the thing.
I was going to say, I'm simultaneously, I actively try not to learn, as well as I don't fucking care in any capacity, even like to a fault, to where I know I could do better in various career paths if I choose to do so, but out of spite, I just don't do it. That's probably my peak hacker is that era.
It's not even laziness, because it's not laziness.
It's spite.
It's pure spite. Like you refuse to learn it.
Absolutely.
For no good reason. For no fucking good reason.
Also correct.
Stupid.
I think like 12-year-old me downloading music illegally on Kazaa is probably peak like hacking for me. Like probably the most adept I've ever been at using a computer.
I think outside of getting this MacBook Pro that you got like a year and a half, 2 years ago, prior to that, Kazaa in the year 2000 was peak computer for you. And the only reason why you got a MacBook,
is I still have to ask you for help fucking numerous times constantly. How the fuck do I find this thing?
And even then, I had to convince you and hold your hand to get the MacBook. Like I literally went out to Arizona. You and I went to Best Buy, and I had to guide you through and talk you through buying a new computer. And you don't regret any of it. You fucking love it.
Absolutely not. This is my baby. Everybody in the house knows I don't fucking touch his computer. Because I got it, like, you open it up, fucking everything's on. That's why I carry it everywhere with me. I don't leave it in my car ever. Yeah. I go to the fucking grocery store. This is essentially my purse. It's always on my body, always on my person.
Always. Dude, anyway. I had a dream last night. I was so scared. I woke up, I was sweating. I had a dream where I got robbed. I went on vacation somewhere. I don't remember where, but I went on vacation somewhere. I brought all my stuff. I brought my computer, my phone. I brought everything. And the house that I was in got broken into. My whole life was stolen. Everything was gone. My wallet was stolen. My cash was gone. My cards, everything was gone. I had nothing. And in the dream, I was so scared. And when I woke up, I was sweating. And I had to I was freaking out.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I always think that if somebody came into my record store and snatched and grabbed a bunch of records, like depending on size, time of day, what they grab, like would I pursue, like the laptop I'd pursue. Like I would throw down for the laptop. Because I have to, because I fucking have to.
Yeah.
I have to. Because
with you, it's your livelihood. It's also your livelihood.
Yes.
Like you use it for work. I don't use mine for work, but I use it for a lot of shit. But I get it. Anyway. Fucking shit. Tangent already.
Shit. Because the record sucks.
Shit.
Anyway, that's my origin story with AFIs. I also have a second one too that was really funny because my guy that's in a band now, his name's Ryan Doria. A band called Pressure Cracks. We've never even reached out to him. We talk about him often, or I talk about him often. Yeah. We've never reached out to him and see if he even remembers me. I don't know. But we went at camp, of course, always about to fucking camp. But the teenage camp Fox. So like when you're 13, you go to Catalina Island instead of like in the mountains of Big Bear area. But Catalina Island, that's just like it's basically like one of those TV shows where you put a bunch of like singles on an island and see what happens, right? That's like Camp Fox, but instead you're like 13 and 14 years old. Like, what the fuck you think is going to happen when people are now in bathing suits, right? Like, come on. Yeah. So anyway, this kid Ryan Doria, he brought 2 T-shirts, and they were just sleeveless ones, like tanks, right? But like he cut the sleeves off.
Yeah,
he brought 2. One was Rancid, and one was AFI. And so the whole time, like my friend Eric and I, all we call them either Rancid, and we go Rancid whenever we wore the shirt, as annoying as fuck.
Annoying 13-year-old kids, yes.
And they'll only call me AFI. Like, oh, you're wearing your AFI shirt today, for sure, AFI. And it was the Fire Inside EP shirt, like the red flame thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the AFI shirt that he wore. I don't remember the Rancid. I don't remember the era of Rancid that he wore, but it was Rancid and an AFI shirt, and that's the only 2 shirts this fucking kid brought, or at least the only 2 shirts that he wore. And we always made fun of him, but that was my other introduction to AFI, because he was like, "Do you ever heard this band?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, like I downloaded that shit. I like them. They're cool." So why do you make fun of me? Like, I'm not making fun of you. It's stupid.
It's really stupid. Yeah, like, AFI. It's such a dumb 12, 13-year-old thing to do, to harass somebody. Annoy somebody.
Exactly. I'm not making fun of you. I just want to harass you because I think it's funny. Yeah. That's it. That's my origin story. That's your
okay. Origin story with AFI for me is Black Sails. My cousin is a big reason why I got into a lot of music. He had a copy of Black Sails. I listened to it. I fucking loved it. And when I went to go buy it, I went to Best Buy. I went to Warehouse. They didn't have it. I mean, they didn't have any AFI at all. And then maybe like a month later, The Art of Drowning came out, and I went and I read online that the AFI, who I'd never bought a record from, put out a new record. I went out to Best Buy. They had The Art of Drowning there. Bought it. That was the first AFI record I ever bought, but the first thing I ever heard was Black Sails, and I love this band ever since. Honestly, I followed this band so closely since I found out about them and Black Sails, and then eventually going back to the first 3 records, obsessing over those records as well. But then I followed them every step of the way up until now. Like I love their newest record. I love Bodies. They have a couple of songs here and there that are kind of shit, but overall their discography is fucking awesome. And most of their songs, I would say like 95% of the songs that AFI have put out are fucking fantastic. 95% of them are fantastic. They put out a lot of songs. They put out a lot of songs though. So there's that. So anyway, I love AFI. That's my origin story. So what are your first impressions on Crash Love? And then if you got any stinkers, let's go over those, and then we'll get into bangers, and then I'll talk about mine as well. So what do you got? Go.
I really kind of like skipped like eras. Like Very Proud I didn't get into until like late 90s, like years after the album actually came out. So I completely skipped like the Shut Your Mouth era. And then Black Sails I didn't get into until we started high school, and I was already kind of like well into playing the guitar. And the Hubbards were the ones that liked that record a lot. And I hung out with them before we started high school because it's like proximity. They lived down the street from me. And I was like, oh, that's a cool fucking song. I think I could play the guitar. And that was one of the another early song that I just learned how to play based off of like listening to it. It's not a complex song, but like when you're fucking 15, 14, 13, it's an achievement. It's an achievement. And like Sing the Sorrow was really, because I also skipped Art of Drowning. So like when Sing the Sorrow came out, and I was like, what the fuck? This isn't fucking punk AFI. This is stupid. This is dumb. And like it was cool and all, but like for me, it was more, that's when I was getting into like just purely pop punk. And like if it's not pop punk, then I'm probably not going to be listening to it right now. I started like hip hop and stuff, but like it has to be pop punk. And that just wasn't, it just wasn't what I was looking for. And then December Underground hit, and the prelude was fucking phenomenal. And I just hated that record after that for a long time, pretty much until like this week. I just never
liked December Underground.
Just what it was like whatever's. So Crash Love I never got on board with, and then Burials and AFI and Bodies, like whatever the fuck those are. Like we've talked about on the bod, and as they come out, you've talked about them, but I'm just like, nah, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck past December Underground. But Crash Love, I have no love for. I have no nostalgia for. I have no defining memory. I have nothing except for essentially this week. This week is the most intently I've listened to this record ever.
Good.
Ever.
Good.
So, getting into it, I have no stinkers. I thought I was gonna have a lot of stinkers. I have none.
Fuck yeah.
I have none. But I have. Let's see here. I got 4 bangers.
That's actually way more than I was expecting. I thought you were gonna have 1 banger and then you were gonna shit on everything else. I have 4 bangers, and I have 1 banger on the bonus tracks. Oh, okay. We'll get into that. All right.
But yeah, that's it. That's all.
I didn't know you wanted to do the bonus tracks. Otherwise, I would have. I like the bonus tracks a lot, but some of them are from like the Sing the Sorrow sessions and things like that. December Underground sessions.
I figure like you probably know these songs anyway, so like,
I do know
we can
them,
just go over them real quick. At least it's my banger one, and then we can laugh at it and move on.
Exactly. And also, I kind of want to mention too that you and I were born in 1987. So by the time we got into AFI in 99, 2000, we were 12, 13 years old, roughly. So that kind of gives you a time frame as to when we got into the band. And, we were young, we were kids, we were fucking teenagers in our prime, not our prime, but we were teenagers and all that kind of shit. So there you go. There's that.
It's kind of prime teenagers.
Prime teenage years. Yeah. Not prime like life years, but teenage years. Yes.
Yeah. My first kickflip was I was like 14 years old. It was at my mom's house.
I can't do a kick. I could barely even ollie. I'm fucking terrible at skating.
I don't think I can kickflip still. I think if you gave me give me a day or two, I could probably get the hang of it again. But
at 37 years old, I don't think
I skate to the mailbox just to keep it fresh.
Okay, you skate a block. You skate a block.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, but doing a kickflip,
half of a kickflip is just like being comfortable on the board and not being like, ooh, whoop, 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 whoop.
I would give you 2 days, and I can guarantee you can't do a kickflip still. Not that it's like the hardest trick or a hard trick. It's very elementary, but even still, I don't think you could do a kickflip. No,
you don't think so?
I don't think so. I'd bet you can't do it. If I gave you 2 days, or actually, I take it. Let's do it 1 day. I give you 1 day. You cannot do a solid kickflip. Not a little bitch kickflip, but a solid kickflip.
Oh, now it's a solid kickflip.
Well, of course. What are you gonna do? Like
kickflip?
You're gonna land it and then like jump off of it, like fall. Like, come on, guy. You gotta do a solid kickflip.
You gotta be moving. You gotta be still. Like where?
You can't do it on the grass. You can't do it you got to do it like on the street or a sidewalk. A solid kickflip you can do in 1 day. I don't think you could do. I give you $50. You couldn't do it.
I know for a fact I can ollie over a skateboard. I know for a fact I can do it.
No, I don't think you can.
If I wasn't drinking, I guarantee you I can ollie over a skateboard.
When I am at your house, when I'm at your house next time in the next month or two, when I'm out there, That's going to happen. It's going to happen. If you can ollie over just a skateboard, which I don't think you could do anymore, if you could still do that, then yeah, I'll be impressed.
I'll bet you.
I'll bet you $20. You can't ollie over the skateboard.
Money's stupid. I'll bet you 10 push-ups. 10 push-ups redeemable at my choosing.
At your choosing, okay.
Or your choosing. That means you could be fucking peeing in the bathroom and 10 push-ups. You go.
Okay, this is enough of this tangent. This is enough.
That's a crazy bet, though. That's a crazy bet.
Push-ups
at my choosing.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
You want to do it?
Yeah, you're going to start practicing tomorrow. Anyway, back to Crash Live. We're doing Crash Live on the podcast. My thing with this one, I do have a lot of nostalgia with this one. It came out in 2009, late 2009. I remember the Medicate single came out. They were playing it on K-Rock at the time. I was still listening to the radio at the time, and so it was all over K-Rock. The video was still on MTV, and I really liked the song. It was certainly different from December Underground musically. The way they looked, I mean, they weren't wearing all white. Their hairstyles changed. They look like normal humans at that point during the Crash Live sessions. Also, at this point, they played a few shows prior to the year before this record came out. They were playing shows and they were playing old songs. They were playing fucking Love Is a Many Splendored Thing, a B-side from the Answer That sessions. They were playing songs with Jeff Kresge. They were playing NyQuil. Like they were playing small club shows at the Whiskey and shit. And they were doing a lot of like old hardcore stuff that they hadn't done in over a decade. They were doing. And I remember there was a lot of hype online thinking, oh my God, AFI is going back to their punk hardcore roots. This is going to be so fucking good. Jeff Kresge's kind of involved. He's been playing shows with them. Jeff Kresge was on December Underground, like background vocals, this and that. And then you get Crash Love, and it's just like, this is just a pop rock record. It was disappointing. Certainly it was disappointing. But in the end, it's a really good pop rock record. Solid pop rock record. I have no stinkers. Got no stinkers on this one. I have 12 bangers. 12 bangers. I'm not including.
You do not have 12 bangers.
I'm not including the deluxe tracks.
Do you really have 12 bangers?
I got 12 bangers. All of the songs.
Every single one of these fucking songs is a banger.
I love this record.
The closer. It was mine.
Yes,
that's a banger.
I do love the song. Yeah, absolutely. Also, I have this on vinyl. Look at this right here. Bring this up again for people who didn't watch the album rankings or the beer and vinyl stuff. I have this, an OG copy, the only copy that was ever pressed from 2009. So I got this one right here. Got the tour pass right there. We already talked about it. Who cares? So right there. Perfect. Love this album.
That's something.
It's great. It's great. So yeah, I got no stinkers. Let's go through the bangers. Let's go through your bangers because I'm sure some of them will match up with mine and go from there. So what do you got? Go. Number one banger.
Do you want to just like get the bonus songs out of the way, or do you want to just do it later on?
Let's do it later on. Let's go with the bangers.
Okay. Because I only have one banger from the bonus songs. So my 1B is Veronica Sawyer Smokes.
It's my 1B as well. It's my 1B as well.
Okay, yeah. This is like when you say this is a good pop rock record.
Yes.
This is what I think of. This is it. Like this is a really meh song.
No, it's not.
Amazing. It is. It's a fucking dumb song, dude. This is a dime a dozen. This is like some shit you'd hear like a Judd Apatow fucking movie or something. It's so it's so goofy. It's so silly. But like it's still, I don't know. Also, like the song opens up like another song, and I can't quite place what it fucking sounds like. But I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, the O's, like we get a lot of O's here. Man, Davey's like really trying to like pull in from the sing the star. Like,
oh yeah, the O's.
I can't even do his O's. Yeah, but it's so high. Yeah. Like almost like a Michael Jackson kind of like punk emo thing.
Speaking of the O's, back when Facebook was really big around this era, around this time, late 2000s, early 2010s, there was a Facebook group called Davey Havoc's O, and the whole Facebook group was just videos of him going, oh, just like from various live performances. I mean,
that's such a good time on Facebook. That was such a good time.
that group doesn't exist anymore. I actually went back and looked and I couldn't find it. But yeah, that was actually a group called Davey Havoc's O's. And people would just comment on it. It was so good. So good.
This is a solid like pop song. Right? But again, I do think this would be in like a Judd Apatow movie or one of those teenage like 10 Things I Hate About You type of movies. This is the most like pop punk song on the record also. So I think it's kind of easier for me to like. But it's just like, dude, this song is so fucking goofy. It is. It's so like unintentionally tongue in cheek. It's so unintentionally goofy and lighthearted and fun, even though I don't think any of those were intentional.
I think this is probably the most fun they've ever had on any record they've ever done.
It's possible.
I mean, this is a fun record. Honestly, it's a fun record. I think you're just judging the band because they've always done overly serious music or like tried to be serious about their music. And then when they try to do something fun, like you're just like, no, this is fucking dumb. This is so dumb.
But I don't think they tried to be fun here. I think this just came out fun and they were trying to be serious. Like that's what I don't get. Like if you're trying to be fun and this came out like this, and I applaud you. If you're trying to be serious and it still came out fun, then I'm like, okay, bro, like you're kind of a butthole. Like
kind of a butthole. You're kind of a butthole.
I have more respect for like trying to be fun and fun rather than like I'm not trying to be fun. Like he comes out like you're just a butthole. You're a dirty wipe, or what do you call what I call you earlier? A dirty diaper bag or something dirty, like that.
Like a dirty butt wipe or something like that. I don't remember what you call it. It was something really over the top and offensive, but I don't remember what it was now.
Yeah.
Disrespectful. It was disrespectful.
Ultimately, anyway. It was disrespectful for sure.
Yeah. So Veronica Sawyer Smokes is also my 1B. Extremely pop rock, pop punk. The chorus is so catchy. The saw you, wowed you, share that cigarette. The way he sings it too, it's like saw you, wowed you, shared that cigarette. It's like very Christopher Walken kind of thing. It's so dumb, but it's so much fun, and it's so much fun to sing. Also, this song is based off of the character from the movie Heathers, which I've never actually seen that movie. I know so much about it because it's Winona Ryder and Christian Slater, and it's always the whole chainsaw thing. You know, it's a very popular movie from the 80s, but I still have never seen it. But it also kind of the song is, or the thing with this song is kind of a throwback to earlier AFI, especially on The Art of Drowning, because Veronica Sawyer is the character in the movie played by Winona Ryder. Clearly he loves Winona Ryder because in the song Despair Factor off of The Art of Drowning, later in the album, there's that part in the song where everything stops and then Davey says, my whole life is a dark room. One big dark room. And then the music comes in. So that was originally from Beetlejuice. Winona Ryder as Lydia in that movie. She says that they wanted to put that part from Beetlejuice in the song, but they couldn't clear it. So they didn't put it. So Davey just had to say it. So clearly he has this obsession with Winona Ryder.
I mean,
in that song, or he loves the movies or 80s movies.
Everybody
general,
like Winona Ryder's in the 80s and into the early 90s, like just the Zooey Deschanel of this era. Right?
Oh, yes, exactly.
Objectively fucking like good looking, objectively like easy to look at.
Yes.
But totally. Fucking vanilla, bro. Like just plain old ass people. Like Zooey Deschanel is fucking to a T, that exact description.
Zooey, she's my girl.
I mean, she objectively checks all the boxes, right? Fine. But
dark hair, blue eyes.
Fuck vanilla, dude. Oh my God. Vanilla.
Anyway, to me, this is like his kind of throwback to the 80s, to him being like a kid or a teenager in the 80s. He likes Winona Ryder a lot, obviously references her twice in two songs. And actually, I want to talk, did you watch the new Beetlejuice movie?
Yeah.
I watched it a couple days ago. It was just no reason. It was stupid. It wasn't stupid. It was fine. There's no reason for it.
There's a lot of, I mean, without getting into a whole like movie thing here, it's just it was fine. There's no reason for it. I don't think it was a good like callback. Like I don't think it's incorporating the original Beetlejuice. Like the whole like Beetlejuice concept and theme was fun because of Baldwin and his wife and the afterlife and how it explores the afterlife. Gina Davis and all of that. Whereas this one is like there's a villain in there, and all of a sudden the villain appears out of nowhere, and then like she goes away, and then the whole like
and she comes back at the end for like no reason.
Boyfriend subplot was weird. It's just fucking weird. I think it was just a push to have that girl, which I can't remember her fucking name. The main girl. Yeah, I think it's a push to have her kind of become like the next like younger pop, like, sex icon thing.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. Yeah,
it was again. You fucking just said it.
Jenna Ortega. Yeah, and you know the movie. It had some good throwbacks, references, things like that. And otherwise, yeah, it was completely unnecessary. Anyway,
that's fine.
Veronica Sawyer Smokes. Banger fucking song. Fucking love. Did you playlist this one, right?
I don't know where to playlist this one at.
Come on, man. You could put it in punk.
I put it in punk.
I'll put it in punk. I'll do it.
You gotta put it
right now. You gotta put it in punk.
That's an 80s song too, right there.
Wowed you.
That's a fucking that's like an aha song right there.
Yeah, it's the snapping of the fingers.
You know what I mean? Like that's yeah. That's good. That's good songwriting. Like they set out to do a specific sound and achieve that sound in the AFI form.
They did, man.
It's good.
It's great. Perfect.
It's a good song. It's a fucking banger. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
All right. So that's both of our 1Bs. So what do you got for your 2B? Oh, you got a lime. You got a lime in the mouth.
I forgot I have the fucking cameras up all the time now.
Yeah,
it's fucking fine. Police
state over here.
We should call this police pod. That's what the fuck it is. Tell you that much right now. I don't know anything about it. The PPs. Too Shy to Scream. That's my 2B.
Too Shy to Scream, huh? 4th track. Let's get into it. That's my 5B. What do you got? Very like fun Green intro. Day, so it's good.
Oh, I'm gonna get into some Green Day too on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not in this specific one, but on this album also. Fun intro. Fun to hear like super kind of low end like chicken guitars matched up with hand claps, right? Like very adamant, like that whole like
yeah, it is very adamant.
Like that kind of thing. Yeah. Very fun, very cheesy, very demure. But like, fuck, man, this chorus is so stupid, and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite choruses on the entire record.
Really,
and that's what I found a lot on this record, and I was very, very surprised is how much I loved a lot of these choruses. Some of the verses is kind of like, man, like I get it. You had a cool chorus, and you're building around that. But like this one, dude, this chorus is fucking absolutely amazing.
It's amazing. Break my heart. It's so good. Yeah, I agree. With the Adamant thing, actually is a very good comparison. I didn't pick up on that at all, but it makes perfect sense now.
But more 80s, like they want to be a fucking 80s band, but they want to be emo and buttholes about it. So.
And once again, yeah, that chorus is so fucking catchy. I die if you only met my eyes. It's just very like yeah,
right, shaking all hands and stuff.
It is, yeah, but it's a faster tempo. Like it's very 80s new wave-esque, but it's with heavier distorted guitars and a faster tempo. That's really what that chorus is, or the whole song in general. It's so good.
That's good.
It's so fucking good. See, that's my 5B.
5B. That's okay. That's all right.
But I also love singing this song too. The end of that chorus, once again, will you pause to break my heart? It's just the way, and then all the music stops, and then it drops into the next section. I love this song. It's fucking great.
And he goes back into that tom like
yeah. It's super tom heavy, but also Adam Carson, the drummer, he has a very tom heavy drummer, much like Trey Cool, another East Bay guy, very tom heavy, especially with the bounciness. And honestly, AFI kind of moved toward like a Green Day-esque kind of pop punky style on December Underground, honestly. Like Miss Murder is straight up a Green Day song, but with different vocals. It's a fucking Green Day song. but then you hear Adam do a lot more of the big the tom fills, the tom hits, and everything like that, rather than the hi hat or the ride cymbal. But anyway, Too Shy to Scream. Moving the camera around. What are you doing? I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I just try to get it, like, because I always like hit it because there's always stuff. There's always stuff going on the table here. So I always hit it, and it was like dunk, and then look at the ceiling or the floor, to fucking the trash can or some shit.
So lyrically, though, what
I was gonna say, like we haven't talked about the lyrics that much. Like what's going on here?
To me, Veronica. Okay, so going back to Veronica Sawyer, that song to me is just. There's not really much here lyrically. I think this is just his throwback to 80s movies, Winona Ryder, that kind of stuff. I don't think there's anything deep about that particular song. Overall, on this record, I think his lyrics are a little lame. I mean, but we've done Sing the Sorrow, we've done Black Sails in the modern, and we've done Shut Your Mouth in the modern era of this podcast. So we've dug into the lyrics. And the lyrics on Black Sails and the lyrics on Sing the Sorrow are really fucking good. Like his lyrics are fan-fucking-tastic. This record is very stripped down. So musically, obviously, like we've talked about, but also lyrically, they're very on the nose. This whole record is about heartbreak. You know, that's the entire theme of this record is heartbreak.
The album title Crash Love, right? And the heart on the cover.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very superficial thing. There are some parts in here that I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking good, actually. But the whole Veronica Sawyer smokes thing, is that like, I legit thought that was about Davey seeing Winona Ryder, because the whole like big thing about that movie is Winona Ryder smokes. She smokes a cigarette in that movie. Does, and she's young, and it's in her like one of her first roles. And like Davey
she's supposed to be in high school,
because he's like the cool guy and straight edge, and like, I don't smoke or drink, whatever, don't drink, don't smoke. And I thought that song was like legit about him being devastated to watch an actress smoke in a movie. That's what it seemed like. And
it could have been, yeah.
That's pretty childish, dude.
But it's Davey Havok. I feel like Davey Havok, I do like Davey Havok a lot, but man, when he believes in something, like he does not, I feel like he doesn't back down from his convictions. Like
no matter what.
He will, no matter what, even if he sees counter evidence to something, he's like, no, this is straight edge is the way to go. No way around it. Veganism, no way around it. I just feel like he has such strong opinions on everything that nothing will ever change his attitude.
Yeah, to the point where it kind of makes him a shill at times.
Yeah. But once again, I like him a lot, and I've watched a lot of interviews over the years, and he always comes off as a little pretentious and just kind of God, he's kind of annoying to hear in interviews. It's like Billy Corgan too.
Very pretentious.
Love Billy Corgan, but he comes off as kind of a prick in interviews. Don't like it.
Kind of, you're right. Just kind of a prick. Sure.
Kind of a prick.
Sure.
Love both bands. Anyway, but this song, Too Shy to Scream, this is about his insecurities. This is about him wanting to approach a girl or somebody else, because that's another thing with Davey Havok. Like, is he bisexual? Is he bi? Is he straight? Nobody. I mean, I don't really know. I know he's dated women, but I don't know if he's bi. Who knows?
It's not that we don't know. It's that once you cross a certain like age point, nobody gives a fuck anymore, dude.
Cares. Yeah,
you're too fucking old for like the ambiguity. Like, I don't give a shit if whatever you are, because we're adults now, and I have other things to worry about than whether or not you're dating X or Y. I fucking don't care.
It's like, who fucking cares?
And to continue to sing about that is just like, ugh, it's a dime a dozen, bro.
Especially when you're so engrossed in Hollywood and the LA lifestyle. It's like everything is so transparent here in LA. So it's like,
start on that one
who cares? Like, who gives a fuck? Like, if I don't know,
because this is the guy that talks, and on this record he sings, there's a song about like the fake LA lifestyle, the fake lifestyle in general of rich people, and also rich people get off with crimes and us poor people don't get it. Man, fuck off. Davey Haddock, he tries so fucking hard to be like in the upper echelon of rich folk, the upper echelon of like
it
musicians.
does seem like it sometimes. Yeah.
And he the whole fucking production, like the white suits for that tour, right? Like everything that he does is so calculated.
It's theatrical. Yeah.
You could really tell that like if he could, like he would be like Gerard Way. Like he wants to strive to be Gerard Way. Gerard Way is like a theater kid at heart.
Yeah.
He's a theater kid at heart, but like really like Gerard Way loves the attention. And there's no bigger like theater kid than like Gerard Way. Like dude is just makes like fucking dumb fucking music, and he's a dork, he's a nobody, but my God, he is just this icon on various levels. And you can tell Davey Havok really, really wants to be like that. Not specifically Gerard Way personally, but he wants to be that kind of icon. He tries really, really hard. And he's never AFI's never going to be that.
I think he
never
just want that. Post the Art of Drowning, I think all he wanted to be was David Bowie. Pre Sing the Sorrow, all he wanted to be was Glenn Danzig. It was either he either wanted to be Glenn Danzig or he wanted to be David Bowie up until this point. Like because when you look up until the Art of Drowning, it was, I'm going to sing with the microphone up. I'm going to wear the skin tight leather shirts. I'm going to be buff. Because honestly, Davey Havok is in great fucking shape. And in the late 90s, early 2000s, he was pretty fucking buff. He was very Danzig-esque. And
there was a lot of skinny buff going on there. But yeah,
it was skinny buff. But you know what I mean? It's like and the way he was like, he would like Davey Havok would stand, like the way he would like push his like shoulders out, and like I don't know, he was very Danzig. But then, Sing the Sorrow came out, and then especially December Underground, he went more of a David Bowie route, like Ziggy Stardust route. They even covered Ziggy Stardust. They even covered AFI covered that song. It's just like, or they covered a Ziggy Stardust song. I don't remember what song it was, but I feel like he transitioned. Like he always strives to be like somebody that he truly admires. And right now and for the last 20 years, I feel it's been David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust. Like constantly change your identity.
I don't get the change. And I hate this. I hate this era of rap, and I hate this artist, but Young Thug, like when Young Thug is releasing like mixtapes, and when Young Thug is doing things,
yeah.
And his compilation Jeffrey, where he like Young Thug is actually changing his entire persona and his entire rapping style. And it's never been like said that he's mimicking like the David Bowie chain from beginning to end, but everyone's like, oh yeah, he's like the David fucking Bowie of rap, because he's going from one thing into a different plane of existence that no one ever thought like this era of rap or hip hop can go into. And it's fun to watch. I hate all of it because it's fucking awful, and I hate Young Thug with absolute passion.
Okay,
but I don't see Davey Havok as changing anything other than Laura Jane gracing his fucking arm sleeves. That's it. Like I don't see a drastic change. Yeah. I don't see a drastic change in like demeanor, in like
in his personality,
in, like, show production,
yeah.
in his personality and songwriting. I just don't see it. All I see is like Davey Havok is the kid that was from, the East Bay that just wants to be really, 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 really fucking famous, but he's fucking weird. And like the only way he can do it is through like the Gerard Way theater kid way, but he's not that weird.
Obviously, and once again, obviously predates the whole Gerard Way thing by like 10 years. But I get what you're saying.
Gerard Way, but Gerard Way is just a better looking weirdo.
I disagree. I think Davey Havok is a much better looking person than Gerard.
No, dude. Gerard Way's a very disarming. Like he's like a little boy. Like he's just disarming. Like, oh yeah, this fucking kid. He's a knuckle. Like, get out of here. Davey Havok's like, ugh. Like, oh, like eat my soul or some shit. He's a fucking weirdo. Like too far.
All right.
Like, yeah, too far.
So back to this record and this song, Too Shy to Scream. Lyrically, I feel like this is about his insecurities, about approaching somebody who he feels very attracted to. And he kind of like doesn't creep on the person, but he just kind of watches them from afar and just kind of, he hopes that they'll talk to him or they'll reach out to him. But then he's also very afraid, like if they do, he's going to fall apart. Like he just doesn't know how to react to this person. He's so infatuated with this person. So he would rather just kind of keep in the shadows and not do anything. So in the end, this song is about just just being infatuated with somebody else. So
here's what I got, right? It's about trying to like get the attention of someone you like on a super superficial level.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine this is so fucking cheesy. And I hate me thinking this way because like it's probably the same way Davey Havok probably thought. But like imagine like the nerd in high school walking past the popular kid in high school, and they're both walking past each other, and the nerd is like, "Oh fuck, I hope this popular person looks at me." And like in the movie, there's a glance, and that fucking split second, that glance, the nerd is like, "Oh my god, my life is complete." And the popular kid just walks by and doesn't even think anything of it, right? That's what I imagine this song is.
Yeah, and honestly, that kind of goes in theme with the Veronica Sawyer Smokes, like throwing it back to the 80s, like cheesy movies, you know, the nerd.
So fucking cheesy.
The nerd kind of linking up with the hot girl in school, or the girl he has a huge crush on in school. Maybe this...
It could have been the fucking nerd girl with the hot boy in school.
But you know what I mean.
Was the Freddie Prinze Jr. movie?
She's All That.
She's All That. Yeah.
Love that movie.
Shit.
Terrible movie, but I still
put glasses on them, and then you can't tell the difference, right? That's what we do in the 90s, baby.
Clark Kent, that girl right there.
Yeah, Clark Kent, that girl.
All right, so are we all good with Too Shy to Scream? We're good with this one? After
2 songs deep, here we go.
Tangent there. Holy shit. So my 2B, my second banger off this one is Sacrilege. Later in the record, I think it's track 10, not mistaken.
It's a little punk song. That's all right.
It's a little punk song. It's actually kind of an outlier on this record where he's not talking about heartbreak with another, like a girl or a significant other or something like that. This is more his reaction to organized religion and his criticism of organized religion, how people act like they're holier than thou. But in the end, all they care about, they're selfish, and all they care about is themselves. That's
original concept, Dave. The original fucking concept from a guy that you're in a punk band already.
I know.
Like original, whatever. Yeah, Sacrilege. This is an okay song for me. This is not a banger.
Not a banger, really?
Nah, because the bridge is fucking weak. I don't find any melody here to attach myself to. The bridge is weak, and there's no really other fun stuff that I like. I like the solo a lot. And I like that it's like a little punk song, but otherwise, overall, it's meh.
You know, the chorus is so good, though. It's like, oh, please believe I'm doing just fine. It's very kind of, this whole song is very sing-songy. It's, how do I explain it? I guess we kind of talked about it. It's like it's like very kind of like bouncy and sing-songy. The whole record's like this.
It's just quick. It's like
this is just a faster tempo version of the other songs, I guess.
I just don't think there's any melody to this song. It's fine, and then the bridge is fucking weak. So there's no specific part here to make me think like, oh, I want to listen to this again and again and again. Nothing.
Okay, that's fine.
Nothing.
That's fine. But I also get it's very much of the kind of the same, the palm muted little palm muted like power chords and everything, the bouncy stuff behind it all, just at a faster tempo, which I like faster songs. So this is probably why this appeals to me more. I do like that he does kind of stray away from the heartbreak that is the theme of this song. Focuses a little bit more on religion. Kind of cheesy, yes. But this whole record is fucking cheesy. But this whole record is cheesy. And
how is it divine when it's flawed design?
What'd you say?
God, that's what one of the lyrics are in the chorus. He says, "How is it divine when it's flawed design?" Oh,
yeah, that's lame. It really.
Like everybody questions religion at some point in their lives. When you're 15, and then by the time you're 20, you pretty much have solidified forever.
But that's the theme of this record too. It's like. Going back to the Veronica Sawyer thing, like going back to the 80s, you know, he obsesses over these movies, not obsesses, but he really loves these movies. He loves Winona Ryder. He's kind of going backwards mentally, emotionally, and writing like a teenager, like an 18-year-old,
what do we call these people? We call them emotionally
underdeveloped. But the difference is we've seen Davey write really fucking great lyrics on Black Sails, Art of Drowning, Sing the Sorrow. Really, really great lyrics on those records.
Fire, for sure.
Even on Shut Your Mouth, when we did Shut Your Mouth, some great lyrics on that record too. So I feel like this is all intentional, musically, lyrically. It's all intentional. This record is meant to be stripped down. There are no electronics on this record. It's a very pop rock record. Guitars, bass, vocals, drums. That's pretty much it. There's not really any fluff. Obviously there's overdubs, but it's not overdone. It's not super layered. And I feel like the lyrics are all go along with that style as well. It's all intentional. It's meant to be like a happier time, going back to a younger time, a fun throwback. Even though, like we said earlier, AFI is not a fun band, but this is their version of fun. Going back to being a teenager.
So like this could be like their nostalgic trip, like going back to something earlier.
And going back to something earlier and to something that they never did in the early years. Like, on Answer That and the first couple EPs and Very Proud of You, everything was pissed off. Everything was angry. Yeah. I'm mad at everybody. I'm mad at society, this and that. But this is more of a vulnerable approach to that. Like, okay, this is what I was feeling deep down. I wasn't always mad. I was also sad. Here's me talking about how I would have written a song in 1994, in 1995, but we're in 2009 at this point.
I get it. I think it doesn't.
I don't think it was expressed well enough. Like, it wasn't taught. The theme, to me, the theme of the record wasn't expressed well enough to the masses or to the fans. And I feel like it was lost on a lot of people.
Like, literally, if Davey had come out and said exactly what you just said, like, damn, we did a lot of cool stuff in our beginnings, but like Gilman, the Bay Area was just angry punk, and we had a lot of emotions back then that we couldn't really write about, and this is what we're doing now. Like, literally what you just said. If Davey had said that at any point in the career of AFI, talking about this record, then I think that'd be fucking amazing. Because that's cool. I like that. Like, that's cool.
You love this record.
I'm writing stuff now that I wish I could have done back then, but I couldn't. And since he has never said that, I don't. I think what you're just saying is fan service. I can't take it.
I agree. No, I agree with you. I think maybe like subconsciously that's what he was going for here. Music, like, or they were all going for here, because even going back because Jade and Hunter obviously were not OG members of this band, but they were in bands that were very hardcore bands. The Force, Hunter was in the Force. I have their record. I have their compilation record, and it's straight hardcore punk. Fucking Jade was in Loose Change. He was in Redemption 87. He was in very hardcore bands at this time too. None of these guys had a chance to express themselves in a more emotional level because that wasn't the scene that they were in. They would be ostracized.
Couldn't do it. Yeah, you couldn't do
this kind of stuff. So, but I don't know. Who knows?
Okay, all right.
That's my thought. Those are my thoughts on this record.
I like how engrossed you are with the lore that may or may not exist with Crash Love. I like it
because this record is really. I mean, honestly though, this record. You have these goggles on. You do. You have these goggles on where, like, okay, I want AFI to be this one kind of specific thing or a couple different things, but if they do anything outside of that, it's going to be garbage. It's going to be all garbage, and that's how you view Crash Love, because Crash Love has some amazing fucking songs.
I like dark ass fucking weird obscure AFI, and I like synthy driven AFI if it's good. But this is not. This
is like outside of their earlier records. This is some of the most stripped down music that they've put out. I mean, it really is. There's nothing
here.
Like,
we know AFI and we know Dave. He like writes good fucking melodies. He's like a Mark and Tom rolled into one. He writes good melodies.
He does.
A lot of these songs don't have good melodies.
No, you're wrong though. A lot of these songs do have great melodies. That's the thing. Like, they have great melodies.
They're not AFI melodies. Everybody, I'll listen to it 25 times and I'll like understand it. Like, no, dude, that's the thing.
No. They don't want to sound like Sing the Star. They don't want to sound like December Underground. They're obviously not going to sound like anything prior to that. They're not going to sound like it. And once again, the melodies are still really good. They're really, really fucking strong. But unfortunately, a lot of AFI fans want another Sing the Star. They want another December Underground. That's what they fucking want. They don't get this here. They get a much more stripped down, raw approach to those records. They get
don't even act like if the fans want X, then AFI will do whatever they want. The bitch like fucking AFI does the same dumbass shit since Sing the Sorrow. Sing the Sorrow until now, it's the same exact record. It's just gotten periodically worse and worse and worse and worse. That is it. And like, come on, dude. Like Sacrilege, there is no like defining melody to this. Like, yes, you love this record, and yes, like you can listen over and over, and you know the melody. But like, compare this to like another like power pop band that like we just did, right? The Weezers. Like Weezer writes objectively catchy melodies.
They do
because they're fucking formulaic. They're formulaic and they are silly, and that's what pop is. Is you write formulaic, stupid ass fucking melodies. That is not AFI. I think Davey Havoc wants to be that, but he cannot be that. This is not that.
But so that's also the difference between like a Weezer and an AFI. It's like Weezer, when they decide to do something, they go all in. Like they really truly go all in with Black, with White, with Pacific Daydream, all in pop. Ratitude, all fucking pop. And then you get Everything Is All Right in the end. Let's throw some prog shit in. Like they really kind of do shit that they've never done, but it's all intentional. With AFI, I feel with AFI, they don't go all in. They still want to like keep some of the old stuff. They still want to like combine stuff. They still want to genre hop. They want to do all this kind of shit. And that's what makes them great. Like they're not as specific as AFI or as Weezer. They're not, or Rivers. They're not, they still want to do something a little bit progressive. They don't just want to be a pop act. But with Crash Love, this is like the only time where they were like, let's make a pop rock record. Let's fucking do it. This is their Rivers, this is their Weezer record in their whole discography. Like, let's try to do something very, very specific. And honestly, it worked out. I really think this record is super fucking strong. The songs are really strong.
It's strong. Thematically, it's strong. Like everything matches. It flows well. All the songs make sense sequentially. And then like if you took one song out and put another song in, it wouldn't make any sense. Davey Havoc is not a good pop writer. He doesn't write great pop songs. And that's difficult to do because like pop songs are hard to write because
they are
like unless you have a fuck ton of other people writing for you, Weezer, Blink, right? Like it's hard to write a fucking good pop song. And like fucking kudos, man. Like this Crash Love, this is them. This is AFI. They don't have 45 other writers coming in here to help them out. And dude, some of these songs are fucking unreal. They're actually really goddamn and catchy. But the other songs, they're just not. They're just not. And if you're gonna write a pop album and say this is going to be like the pop icon of AFI's later career, then that's you got big shoes to fill because you've already written. Like Ramones is a pop band. We've already established that, right? They're a fucking pop band that just happened to like play downstrokes on chuggy guitars and distortion. But like AFI's already done really, 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 really catchy pop songs in their first like 4, 5, 6 records.
Yeah.
Like insanely catchy songs that like instantaneously are now stuck in your head because of how fucking catchy they are. Crash Love takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of momentum. You got to kind of get into it, kind of beat you. Let me put myself in Davey Havoc's shoes, see what he's feeling at the time. And now the whole thing of like, I want to go back and write something that I should have written back in the first, 3 or 4 records, but I couldn't because we're punk. Now that kind of like sheds new light that I never.
But that's
thought
not
about
something Davey said. That's my own opinion. That's nothing.
But I like that though because that makes sense because Davey Havoc emotionally underdeveloped. Like, have you seen him as a person? Like, dude is clearly constantly going through some shit, right? Like there's no era of Davey Havoc where like he clearly does not look like he's going through some shit.
That's fair, yeah.
But it's sad to say, but like he's not a great pop star. He's not a great pop writer, and this shouldn't be a pop band. But this era of AFI is very pop rock. It's very much of that, and he's just not good at it. But I appreciate the fucking effort. I really, really do.
And once again,
I like that nostril.
Once again,
so fucking mad.
Once again, you also gotta give Davey and Jade mad respect because honestly, Jade is the main songwriter. Ever since Black Sails, he's the main songwriter on all these records. And they've never had outside writers. I mean, yeah, they've had different producers than that, but they've never had the different songwriters. Like you mentioned, Weezer, they've always had different songwriters on from Make Believe on. They've had various songwriters, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's also not entirely a fair comparison when we're talking about pop music and pop rock music, and you're throwing Weezer up against AFI when it's just one or two guys compared to 30 other guys.
And that's what it takes to write a good pop album and become a good pop band, is you have to hire outside people. If you don't, then you just sound like AFI.
But once again, fine. That's not a bad thing. Like no, you gotta stop comparing it to like a super pop hit by Weezer or another 5 Seconds of Summer or fucking whatever other band.
But if I want to hear good pop music, I'm not tuning into AFI. Just straight up, I'm not going to do it.
Oh God! But see that
it's not going to fucking do it. If I want to hear good hardcore music, I'm not going to do AFI. If I want to hear good alt music, like they don't do anything great post December Underground. Nothing is great post December Underground.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Nothing is great.
It's still
unique
it's
in their
fucking
own.
Good. It's still
no one does
good.
it like AFI does it, but it's still not great.
But it's still fucking good. It's still fucking good.
A for effort. A for effort.
You're so
Crash
annoying.
Love is A for effort.
You gotta get. You're so annoying. You're so fucking annoying.
There's nothing about this record that is great.
Let's get into a couple more songs. We'll wrap it up, and then we'll rank the record, because you're just being stupid. You're just being dumb.
Just calls them as I see them, kids.
No, you're comparing it to like these big pop fucking writers, and I get it. Jackknife Lee co-produced this record. I get it. He's like a big pop producer, but once again, he didn't
like pop producer though.
What?
He's a pretty big pop producer.
I agree. Yeah, he is, but he has no songwriting credits. For what that's worth, he doesn't have any songwriting credits. He's not a John Feldman, a Feldy of this thing, where Feldy had his little grimy hands in the production, the mixing, the songwriting, and all that kind of shit. Jackknife Lee was strictly production on here, along with Jade. Like Jade, it really is like, he is the heart of this band from Black Sails until now. Like I mentioned, songwriting, production, everything. Jade is the heart of this band.
It's just hard to deny, and everybody, our boy Skip shits on fucking Blink for so much because the new record, there's so many people working on it. Same with this one. At what point is 9 engineers too much? At what point is 4 people mixing one track too much? They don't have songwriting credits, but get the fuck out of here. You're going to tell me that not one of those, hey, dude, you should do this. And oh, yeah, we should do that. And it seeps into their sub. You know what I mean? When there's that many people in the kitchen telling you to do one thing or the other, or just keeping quiet and making faces. I find it hard to believe. And the authenticity of having just a 3-piece band going into the studio and being produced by one dude who also produced other 3-piece, 4-piece band. Because David doesn't do anything except fucking whine like a little bitch.
Also,
you're right.
Another thing too.
At what point do you question rather than just I give it a pass. I give it a pass. Come on.
So also kind of going back to the point where, this is songwriting wise, this is them kind of going back to a weird throwback to the early days of, let's write more of a pop album rather than a hardcore record. So with Crash Love, they did decide to go back to a studio called the Art of Ears studio in Hayward, California, which is Northern California, Bay Area kind of California. So the Art of Ears is where they recorded the first 5, I think the first 5 records, maybe 4 records they recorded at the Art of Ear Records with Andy Ernst, I believe it was. So for Crash Love, they're let's kind of throw it back a little bit. Let's go to Art of Ears. Let's kind of go back to where we were at early on in our career, the beginning of our career. So I feel like going back to their roots in that sense is really cool too, because they did that. They wrote a very kind of a vulnerable record, as kind of elementary as this record is. They wrote a very elementary record, vulnerable record, but also working with their old or working in the old studio that they used to work in the early days, which is really cool too. Like they really like committed to the bit. They're like, let's go back to our 19-year-old selves, studio, you know, emotionally, all that kind of stuff. Let's all fucking do that, which I think is really cool too.
If that's a thing, then I respect it. I do. I really do.
Once again, this is my theory, and this is all the evidence that I'm laying out. They did the Art of Ears. They also, remember I mentioned earlier on the rankings episode, just not even a year prior to this, they were playing old songs from the Answer That and Very Proud era. They were playing Love is a Many Splendored Thing. They hadn't played that song since, at that time, they hadn't played that song since, like, I think it was 1996. You know, this is 2008 or 2009 when they played that song. So they were playing a lot of hardcore songs, and like I mentioned earlier, a lot of, me including, a lot of fans were saying like, oh my God, they're going to go back to a more hardcore sound, a more punk sound. But then we get Crash Love. So they kind of duped us, but then they kind of went back to this very vulnerable, you know, core of the band, of the band, I would say.
Okay. All right. Well,
my thoughts on it. I don't know.
I like that idea. I like that idea that we could not release this emotional lyrical content back in the day because that would destroy us and you would never hear us now. And I get that, right? You gotta like what do you call it? Like choose your pick your battles at the time. And if you're coming out of the Bay Area and if you're not punk as fuck, you're not gonna survive. There's no fucking way. And Green Day is like the anomaly that survived and made crazy, crazy pop songs outside of that. But there's so many bands that just you never fucking heard of. Like you see bands that played at Gilman, right? The thousands of bands that we have never heard of because it was tough. It's a tough market. AFI got out of that and we get Crash Love. And if Crash Love is truly that, and I like that, and I believe it, and I believe you for saying it, and if that truly is like them, like I wish I could have said this with those punk like mentalities, with those punk stuffs, that'd be fucking amazing. That would be amazing. Like if we could get a Shut Your Mouth with this kind of concept, man, that's like get the fuck out. Like nobody would ever do that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Get the fuck. We're talking like legendary status, and it's unfortunate that we've gone this long, and now we're hearing what you have to say now because you're not at your best. You're not at your best songwriting. You're just not. They're not at their best songwriting here, and it sucks. But that's where we're at. This is not their best songwriting. These melodies are not their best.
All right.
They've done better punk songs. They've done better fucking pop songs. December Underground. There's better pop songs on that. Their fucking singles from Sing the Star and December Underground are better pop songs. There's nothing on Crash.
I completely disagree with you.
What are you talking about? They're singles from December Underground and Sing the Sorrow.
You hate Love Like Winter.
Better.
You hate Love Like Winter.
I do.
You don't like Silver and Cold.
I don't like Love Like Winter because it's delivery, but it's a better pop song than anything on Crash Love.
But once again, Love Like Winter and 37 millimeter off of December Underground were meant to be black audio songs. The point of Crash Love was to take the electronics out of it completely and not have any of that. It's strictly a fucking rock record. That's what this record is. And that's the whole point of it. So, and honestly, I feel they prove that they can write really good rock songs, pop rock songs, without the electronic element that you have in, you know, Love Like Winter and 37 millimeter.
Dude, Silver and Cold, Girls Not Gray, like these are better songs. I don't like those songs that much, but they are better songs than anything off of Crash Love. Just straight up. Straight fucking
Girls
up.
Not Gray. Girls Not Gray is an amazing
Miss
song.
Murder is a better fucking
Miss
pop
Murder
song
is not
than
that,
anything off of Crash Love.
But it's so over the top, stupid, and cheesy.
That's AFI. That's what they built their career off of. Once they hit like Shut Your Mouth, AFI became an extravagant band. They're like, oh, we can double down on this. Let's keep doubling down on this every single album release, right? Starting with Shut Your Mouth, into the next. They keep doubling down on the aggressive like theme, what they want to do. Like, who else is doing this? Let's just do it better. Let's just do it more. That's what they do.
Okay. In the end, in the end, you and I both love AFI. We love AFI. We like this record.
It's true.
So
hold on there, dude. Those are two different concepts.
Trying to trick you there.
Those are two different concepts there, dude.
Let's get into a couple more songs because I do want to talk about a couple more of them, and then we'll wrap it up. I mean, we've gone so off track, but at moments. But
that was off track. That was all on track. That was all on track. The Superman was off track. I'll give you that. Superman was off track.
That was unreal. That was stupid.
It was stupid. I really enjoyed the thought that like Superman like can't even be himself in front of people. That's crazy. That's sad. That's tragic.
It is. Yeah, I guess.
It's like the most sad of all superheroes. It's so sad.
It is sad. But anyway, we're not talking about Superman. We're talking about AFI. What's your 3B?
Like who fucking cares?
I know.
So funny. Medicate. Medicate's my 3B.
Medicate. You and me. No, it's we.
You gotta open up with
oh. Dude, that O is like one of his most extreme O's.
This is, again, straight up fucking Sing the Sorrow vibe from this one. Another 100%. Song with a great chorus. But like the verses are fun because we get a lot of those co-instrumental parts and I like it. But like that chorus, man, that chorus is fucking absolutely bonkers. I love it so much.
Did you play this one?
I did.
Fuck yeah. I did. So I remember when this song came out, I listened to the world premiere of this song on K-Rock. They did world premiere on that station and here in LA, and I liked it right from the beginning because it really is a Sing the Sorrow song, with like the palm mutes, the way that Jay goes in and out of that with the single notes with a little bit of distortion in there, and the way that's kind of like woven with Davy's vocals, it's absolutely perfect. Adam also hits those big like fucking tom hits and big tom fills in the pre-chorus going into the chorus, and the chorus is stupid. Honestly, the chorus is really stupid, but it's really fucking catchy. Super fucking catchy.
So much.
And you also have a guitar solo. Jay doesn't do a lot of guitar solos.
There's a couple guitar solos on this record where I was like, oh, that's pretty damn good actually.
Prior to this record, the only guitar solo Jay had done was on Sing the Sorrow on what is the 5th track? I can't even think right now. But anyway, on one song on Sing the Sorrow, that was like the big solo he did. That was the first solo AFI had ever done, the first proper solo. And then Medicate comes along and he does it's fucking wonky. It's kind of weird, but it's perfect for the song. And honestly, Jade is a fucking killer guitar player. People don't give him enough credit as a guitar player. What he does, it's pretty fucking rad, man. You watch him like build these songs, and you watch behind the scenes stuff, him talking about how he wrote the song and how he wrote certain parts and solos. It's like, damn, this guy really knows what he's talking about. He's super talented. So underrated. Dedicate's a great song. Great solo.
It's good. What B is this for you?
This is my 4B. Dedicated is 4B.
That's good. Yeah. So like other just nitpicky parts. Again, I'm not super familiar with this record, so when I say these things, you probably, oh yeah, I do know that. The bridge is cool, right? It's very extravagant, and like I halfway expect him to go back into like the screamo growl he used to kind of do often. That's where I think it's going. He doesn't do it, but we get like the typical kind of chorus with the backup harms, which is that's pop writing. That's good pop writing. This is a good pop song, and the riff to lead out of the bridge back into the chorus. I like that. I like that little fucking, like, I don't remember exactly what it sounded like, but I wrote it down, so it must have been important.
It's fine.
I'm not that familiar with this record other than this week listening to it 4 times.
Well, it's just like in the bridge, it kind of builds. Like the bridge starts with like just the clean guitar, the single notes, just Jay kind of just hitting plucking those single notes. And then he hits the distortion pedal.
Oh, that's
it kind of builds, and then
at the whatever the fuck.
And then the other
three
guys, and then the other 3 guys are just kind of they're filling it in with the harmonies and everything like that. And then it drops back into the chorus, and then you get into the solo. Like it drops into a couple choruses, and then it drops into the solo, which is just stupid. It's stupid and wonky, a little bit wonky and fun. I love it.
The solo's cool. I do question. I do wonder. I'm curious. I'm a curious guy. It's in my nature. Why are the solos? Why are the solos always at the end? Like,
yeah, they are.
Like are you not allowed to do a solo and incorporate it into like a typical pop format, right? Or B, is it an intentional thing where we're running verse chorus thing solo or bridge solo, but like now the solo's at the end, the solo is essentially the outro. Like that's what I'm curious as to the songwriting process. Like why the solo's always at the end?
Yeah, why
he is a good guitarist.
Yeah, right.
Like why not incorporate the solo? And he has a lot of cool leads too throughout the whole record. There's a lot of cool fucking leads. Why not extend those leads into a solo or like a mini solo? I don't know. It's weird. I thought that's not weird. Interesting. That's interesting.
That's
in the
something
truest
I don't
sense
say anymore. Yeah.
There should be like that phrase on a general scope should be on the no list, but like when you're truly interested in something, I did find that interesting. Like why are the solos usually at the end?
Yeah, you're right. I've never really noticed that the end of Medicaid. Yeah, he does play that in toward the end of the song. It's not in the bridge. It's well after the bridge. He doesn't. I think what it comes down to is also like that punk ethos where you're like punk music should not have guitar solos. Like that's just not something to do. And I feel like subconsciously maybe that's kind of a thing that he's still thinking. We're still kind of a punk band. We have punk roots. It's not appropriate to put a guitar solo in here.
Sacrilege too, though. Right? That was like at the end.
True, but also maybe no. I was gonna say maybe it's like his own insecurities as being a guitar player. But I've watched a lot of interviews with Jade over the years. He doesn't seem like an insecure guy. He seems like a very, very calculated guy and very confident in his own abilities, but not to like an arrogant or cocky sense, but he knows what he's doing and he seems very, very calculated, which I like. I really like that about Jade.
Davey. I mean, AFI is Davey Havoc. There is no AFI without Davey, and Davey is nothing without AFI. So
true. But anyway, Medicaid, great song. They made a video for this one too. Like I said,
Medicaid. These are dumb, bro. These videos are stupid. They are not good videos. This is
none of their videos are good.
It's you're right. Girls Not Great, man.
Today I watched every single one of their videos.
I skimmed. I
watched every one of them today.
And it was hard. It was hard to get through.
No, it wasn't. Come on. It was a lot of that dumb, shit. Dude. A lot of that shit was of the time too.
No, because the Girls Not Great video was like objectively fucking bad in the early 2000s. Like that was when like people were just dumping money. Blink-182, dumping money into just do whatever you want to do. Just make it huge. And like we got Girls Not Great. Oof.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid, But then you have Leaving Song Part 2, which was this very grand kind of thing, looking video. And then what I thought was funny, the video for Beautiful Thieves on Crash Love was, I feel like it was kind of a throwback to the Leaving Song Part 2 video, where they're all wearing the suits, they're playing this big mansion and all.
Yeah.
But Beautiful Thieves, but Beautiful Thieves was like, you could tell it was a little bit lower budget. The theme of the video was like the guys come in to play. They're like the house band for this like
slow motion, fucking.
And then they end up poisoning the whole party. But it was to me, it was kind of like a throwback or homage to the.
But like we're too old to be doing this, dude. The whole like light and dark thing, like the girls in the white dress with the black fucking eyeliner and bracelets and earrings, and Davey's got like the black hair but like the right earrings, and like, oh my god, dude, you're just too old for this shit.
But you have to but that's another thing too. We're looking at this where you and I are 37 years old now.
That is true. They were like 37 when this came out, weren't they?
But what I'm saying is the way people even in 2009, the way people viewed media and music videos, they were still very much like, let's make something grand, let's try to make something big. It was still very much a theatrical thing, an entertaining thing. Like the whole thought process was extremely different 15 years ago. It's like it's not entirely fair to compare Dude, that video to.
He was 40 years old when this fucking
Davey was.
Yeah, like record came out, right? Yeah. Like 75, 85, 95, 05, 15. No, like 30 something. Like our age. He was like literally like our age when this record came out.
Emo, yeah.
Like, have you no humility? Have you no sense of fucking?
Once again, it was
shame.
Also, once again, it was 15. It was 15 years ago. It was still
15 years ago. It might as well be 50 years ago. Like 15 years ago is actually pretty wild.
When you think about you and I, hanging out
5 years ago, dude.
And thinking about you and I hanging out in 2008, 2009, how stupid and wild we were at times.
Like, we were shooting BB guns at fucking grocery store windows and stuff.
Well, that's probably not something we should be talking about.
Statute of limitations. We're setting off fucking fire alarms in big cities.
Hey. We don't talk about that.
That's you.
That was not me. I didn't set off any alarms.
That's true. It wasn't you. Someone else pulled the alarm as you did something else.
Once again, we're not gonna go into detail on any of this.
You're so frightened.
What's the point? What's the point of even talking about? It's just like, what's the point of even talking about?
As if like someone's been following this case. Oh, I'm gonna crack this case.
20 years, but I'm gonna crack this case. 20 years.
I'm gonna get him for that $1,000 fine. As if like, even though they've paid me $60,000 a year for the past 10 years, I'm gonna get him for that $1,000 fine. Like,
it's so fucking dumb.
It's only funny because you're still so fucking worried about it.
I'm not worried about it. It's just like, why even talk about it? It's just so dumb.
Because it's so stupid.
It is so dumb. The shit that we used to do.
And it was funny. It was funny because we watched some like girl run out of her little fucking apartment or whatever and like duck and cover and look left to right. Like, oh my God. Like, do you see fucking smoke? Is anybody else running? Like, have a little situational awareness.
Anyway, let's get back into this record. Oh my God.
You hate that so much.
No, I don't hate it. We're really deviating. We're already like an hour and 10 minutes into this.
Because his record is not that great. It really is not.
So okay, so then let's get into the rest of your bangers, and then we'll get in.
I have one more banger,
and that's a deluxe song, right? Or the B side.
I have one more banger, and then I also have a deluxe.
Okay,
banger.
What's the other banger? We'll get into that, and then we'll get into the other stuff.
I feel better now.
You're an idiot.
Got him. That's a banger.
That's my 11B. Okay, what do you got?
This is a good one too. This is another one too that I think is like, damn man, like I shouldn't like this song, but there's cool parts to it. The background guitars.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Heart Stops is a fucking that's a top 10 AFI song for me.
That's so stupid.
Straight up top 10 song. The background guitars in this, the pacing is very like Black Sails to kind of like Sing the Sorrow era. Sometimes like Davey lets out that wail too, like the I Cannot Breathe part. Right in this part in this song, fucking solid. I also like the build of the song. I like a good build. Bring me somewhere. Put me on the ship and bring me somewhere.
Yeah.
The more aggressive end part is kind of worth the wait. I'm digging it. I like it.
This song really does have the build though, like because it's really just Davey and the guitar, like the first 45 seconds of the song, and then Adam kind of like builds up with the drums. It builds, and that's the full band. It is a nice build. It really, really is a nice build. But it's not like the most overly melodic song. I still love it. I still love this song, but it's not the most melodic thing. And you're bitching about like, oh my, that's not catchy. This is not this and that. Oh, it's not like old AFI, whatever. Like, you picked this fucking song? Like, this is like one of the most like generic kind of. If we're gonna throw a filler song onto the record, this is a filler song. Come on, guy.
But like.
Come on, guy.
Not breath, right? That's very like, that's what it is. It's very Panic at the Disco. Like, I like that, like droning, like fucking like, fade out a little bit and very get all theatrical. That's what it is. I get it,
but it's not. At least it's not as like stupid sounding and overly dramatic as Brendan Urie is in Panic.
Yeah, it's definitely not stupid sounding.
I get what you're saying, but even still. Like in the context of this record, this is like lower tier. Come on, guy. That's just silly boy talk.
That's interesting because
show your wounds because I'm bored or say some stupid shit like that. It's like,
Davey Havoc really wants to just like be all of it, dude. And like Panic at the Disco would not exist had it not been for AFI. There's just no fucking way, right? Yeah. Absolutely no way.
100%.
but like they got way more popular. It's exponentially more popular.
Fortunately,
and I think Davey Havok probably like, dude, that has to like, as a musician, that has to like dwell upon your fucking brain.
Well, he has to have some sort of resentment or jealousy,
of course,
towards bands like Panic or Brendan Urie. I don't even want to say Panic. I want to just say Brendan Urie because, yeah, Brendan Urie is Panic at the Disco.
And that's crazy because like I do think Panic. I mean, that first record by Panic is better than this record for sure.
You're fucking stupid. Shut the fuck up. You're so fucking saying. Dumb. That first Panic record is not good, dude. Shut the fuck up. That is so fucking. It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
It's so like, ridiculously dumb.
It's so ridiculously
it's so
dumb. Like, it's
redonkulously dumb. Is that what you're gonna say?
Yes. I can't believe you would even say that Panic record is like objectively that record is so. It's so over the top theater kid bullshit. It's fucking terrible. It's fucking awful. It's not a good record. Oh, hate that fucking Panic record.
It is pretty interesting though, right? Because
no, it's not interesting. Nothing about that record is interesting. No, nothing about it is interesting.
Here's what's interesting is that Panic record blew up.
Oh,
and yeah, maybe like
dude.
Maybe like, well, I'm trying to like fucking talk and do all these things.
I heard it come up.
Wednesday, Thursday.
Come up.
It's very I have another one too, but
I know I heard it.
Pause. It is interesting because that record did blow up. That record did become extremely popular in a time where it was a dime a dozen. Like, why did that become so popular? I do like that a lot, but I have a soft spot for like dumbass fucking theater kid music. And like, why is that record so fucking popular? But Crash Love is kind of like meh. Like, why is Black Parade? I will say, the best of Black Parade is better than the best of Crash Love, but overall, Crash Love is better than Black Parade. But Black Parade is fucking like the end all be all for that like emo theater kid kind of shit.
Yeah, I think like 2 songs off of Black Parade you could argue are better than most of Crash Love.
Bro, Welcome to Black Parade is better than Crash Love. Straight up.
Okay.
Everything
Settle
else
down.
is worse.
Settle
Everything.
Down.
Get the fuck out of here. Welcome to the Black Parade.
Settle down. Now the Panic album came out before Black Parade, and then Crash Love came out 3 years later? 2 years later? 3 years later.
We're talking like these guys don't exist without AFI.
I agree.
What AFI is already doing. So like it's just wild to me that like AFI is not getting the recognition they deserve, whereas My Chemical Romance and Panic are getting the recognition that they don't deserve.
I agree, but you could also you could throw that to any band or a lot of bands. Look at a band like Refused. You know, what they were doing in the mid 90s was crazy, and how many bands were influenced by Refused by the late 90s, early 2000s. But you know, these bands were blowing up at that time, and people were like, "Oh, who the fuck is Refused?" Like Thrice or whoever is citing Thrice is like, or is citing Refused as like their number one band or the band that's inspired them the most. And it's like, who the fuck is this band? I feel like it's much the same thing. It's like they were a little bit too ahead of their time, just a tiny bit ahead of their time. But also AFI were really cool in that they weren't
ahead of their time.
They were also very kind of like DIY in the sense with the internet. You know, they were very active on their own website. They also created their own forum called the Despair Factor, which they decided upon that name with the fans. They're like, what should we call this giant message board, this new kind of like fan club, this online fan club, and they came together and said, oh, the Despair Faction, that should be it. You pay $25 for a lifetime membership of this thing, and that's what it became. And the Despair Faction became this enormous thing, and the fans were constantly, for years, they were constantly rewarded with like, here's exclusive vinyl, here's exclusive this or that. Yeah, you pay $25 now, but you're given, over the next 15 years, you're given so many cool fucking things that are only meant for you.
That's
which
cool.
Is super fucking cool. Like they were very ahead of their time when
took a page out of Weezer's book, right? That's what Weezer did from.
Oh no, 94. I agree. Yeah. Weezer did it in '94. Absolutely. But AFI did it in a more less pop oriented sense, I guess. I don't know, whatever.
I think that's the biggest difference. Is like when people when Panic and Gerard Way they quote like who are your inspirations? They don't ever mention AFI, and I think that's unfair. But I also think that like AFI is not something like unique. I don't think AFI did anything super extravagant. Are we done? I feel like we're going to wrap up.
Let's wrap it up. Rate the record based off of our world famous 3-point rating system, where 3 is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to. 1 is a bad album, but give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. Wrap it up. Rate the record. We'll move on. Go.
Fainting Spells, the bonus track. That was a fucking banger.
I love that song.
Everything else, the bonus tracks, the Fainting Spells, fucking banger. So yeah, I think when the theater kid explosion really happened, which really like right when we were in high school, like that's when like the real explosion happened. I think they are all referencing other bands, whereas like AFI had kind of been doing that same sound for a long time, but they're not like the original of the theater kid fucking sound, right? This is like we're going back like way back. Like Queen has been doing the theater kid sound, right? The over aggressive Jethro Tull passion play. They did like that's not a new thing. AFI just did it in a very emo way for what our generation has known. In that what are we millennials? We're kind of not like millennials. We're like the earlier millennials because we're not like the stupid millennials.
Elder millennials.
We're the M's, the EMs. AFI didn't like invent this genre. They didn't do anything to progress this genre. They just kind of did this genre in a way that no one else like blended the 80s sound almost from the get-go. Pretty much from like Shut Your Mouth. You can kind of hear like this New Order Cure thing in Shut Your Mouth. There are some
only
like
on third season, only on that one song, third season.
But we're talking that's 3 records deep from a band that like if you fucking told people that you listen to The Cure and Gilman, like you open, hey, we're AFI, we like The Cure, like no, you're already done. You're already done. This is not going to happen.
Well, they got banned from Gilman when they signed to Nitro. Yeah, like and fucking Nitro is a fucking indie label. That's how stupid fucking Gilman was.
Yeah, Nitro's an indie label, right? It's not even that big of a fucking indie label. Nitro only survived. Nitro only exists because of like one fucking record. That's it. Fair. So whatever. AFI is a band that I think gets too much credit in some aspects, like the later part of AFI, the Bodies era, and I think doesn't get enough credit in the Art of Drowning, Black Sails in the Sunset era. I think AFI is a band that is overshadowed by the annoyingness of Davey Havok, and your fucking name is Davey Havok. And I can't get over it, man. It's so fucking stupid. I fucking hate that so much with an absolute passion. Fuck yourself. Whatever. Crash Love, this record is not that great, dude. It's just not. It's not a good pop rock record of this era, of this time. It's just there's so much better you can do. I do respect them for keeping it in-house, for not having 45 songwriters, although they do have a fuck ton of engineers, mixers, producers, people like going into Pro Tools and doing whatever they want to do in there. So like there are a lot of hands in this honeypot, but like when it comes down to it, the songwriters are AFI. And I do respect that a little bit, more so than like Weezer and Blink and stuff like that. Even if it's bad, I do respect that.
Okay. So what would you rate Crash Love? What would you rate Crash Love?
This is tough because this for sure not getting a 2. No way. So get that out of your head. I'm debating like a 1, listen to it, call it a day. Don't ever listen to it again. I'm not there. 2, gonna go back to this. Like I'm probably not. But because we did it on the pod, right? Like the whole, this should also go on the fucking no-no list too, is recency bias. I hate people say, oh, recency bias. Like, oh yeah, just because we talked about it yesterday, that's fucking recency bias? Like, fuck yourself.
We've actually talked about this before on the podcast. Recency bias.
That, right?
Yeah.
Don't we hate that? I hate that.
I get it. I get what you mean though.
I don't like it at all. Of course it's fucking recency bias, you fucking dullard. Idiot. 175. That's all I'm doing.
1.7. That's actually higher than I was expecting from you.
1.75. I will probably go back to this from time to time. Just be like, fuck it. But like I can't do it too. I can't do it too. Can't do it.
So, okay, that's fine. That's fine. So going back to Davey Havok, just very briefly, yeah, it's a stupid name, but his real name, David Marquand. Is that better? Is that better?
You French it up, baby, like David Marquand, like kind of like that,
like kind of get that kind of thing going on. David Marquand.
Hold like a big thing of wine too, like
yeah, you got the big glass of wine, yeah, the big bowl that is the glass. God, it's stupid. That is so dumb.
Stupid.
So anyway, yeah, I'm a huge AFI fan. Like I said at the beginning, they're one of my favorite bands. I've followed them since I found out about them when I was 12 years old. From Black Sails up until now, I've loved them, and I'm not overly critical of them, but I do know that they don't have. There are some songs that are just kind of shit. They are kind of shit songs. No album that is bad, because I do have all the records on vinyl. Every record has its really cool, great moments on it. I think you're being a little critical of Crash Love. Crash Love is once again, it's a very pop rock oriented record. They weren't trying to church it up like on Sing the Sorrow and especially December Underground. They stripped it down a lot. And going back to what I said earlier, this is them kind of reverting back a little bit, not emotionally underdeveloped, but them going back to their teenage, feelings and ways, and throwing it back to like a very stripped down and a very vulnerable, way of writing songs and lyrics and melodies and this and that. And I love it for it. I think this record is fantastic. I have an OG copy on vinyl. I really do love this record. I mean, just objectively, I do love this record. I think the melodies on here are fantastic. I think Jade's guitar playing is fantastic. And Hunter's bass playing, it's not as squirrely and wild as it is on some of the earlier, or like Art of Drowning and Black Sails and shit like that. But there's some great fucking moments that he has on here, musically. Adam, he's a great punk drummer. He has some great fills. He has some great moments here and there. But overall, this is just a really fucking awesome pop rock record. And I don't do it often.
Don't even. No fucking way. There's no way. No way.
I don't do it often. I don't do it often on the podcast, but I will give this a perfect 3 out of 3.
That's crazy.
Like if you take this out of the context of the AFI discography and look at it as a pop rock record, especially in 2009, like what the fuck is this? It's so different. It's something you've never heard before. You take AFI out of the whole equation. You take that name, what you know about AFI, out of the equation. This record is fucking fantastic.
You think this stands on its own?
It 100% stands on its own. 100%.
Okay.
I give this.
You almost had me when you said like, because I'm still on the fence of the concept that they are doing a record lyrically and conceptually that they should have done in the beginning, but they couldn't because they would have been laughed out of Berkeley. I still don't know if that's fearless or if that's inventive. No, fearless, or if that's just like cowardly, right? If that's like a cop out.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, my thought on it was cowardly at the time. Like, yeah, they couldn't be vulnerable with the music. Also, at the time on the first 2 records, Jeff Kresge was writing all the music and writing a lot of the lyrics too. And when they were young and they wanted to fit in with the crowd, the local hardcore scene, as anti-establishment as you want to be, it's still a clique. The hardcore scene, the punk scene is still very cliquey, and they're fucking assholes. It's like any other group. They're going to be.
They were the assholes of assholes. Like Gimlin were the fucking worst.
Yeah, Gimlin was pretty bad, or East Bay was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty rough.
So I don't know. I don't know if that's fearless or if that's fucking cowardly.
But once again,
I don't fucking know.
Like I said, this is them going back, writing a very emotional, like a more what they probably, or Davey wanted to write at the time, and also the fact that they went back to the Art of Ear studio to record this record. They got fans to record some of the song or one of the songs with them, a bunch of the gang vocals, which was really cool too. Like really kind of throwing it back. That's another throwback to this record too. It's like getting the fans, like people like back in the Answer That days, 95, 96, dude, they would, that they would have like fucking randoms in the scene. Like Jade wasn't even in the band at this time, but he was in other band, Loose Change, Redemption 87, shit like that. And he would come and sing a bunch of background vocals. Nick 13 was singing background vocals, playing rhythm guitar on these early AFI records, because that was just the scene. Like you get people who aren't in the band to be on the record. And this is also kind of a throwback on this record. Like, let's get like people who love our band, to have them sing like the gang vocals or the chorus vocals on one of our songs, which they fucking did, which is so super fucking rad.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's cool. So I don't know. This is a great record. 3 out of 3. I don't give a fuck.
That's wild.
I love Crash Love.
That's a high score, dude. That's a high score.
I fucking love this thing.
Okay.
Love this stupid album. So that's all I got. So thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us 5 stars, tell your friends, share all the posts. Thank you for listening. And that's it. That's all.
Beautiful.